Hello loves, my name is Zoya Yaseka Johnson. I am a model and the creator of Prescription for Life. I am also the VP of International Relations for Jamaica's Amateur Gymnastics Association. I would say, to sum myself up, I am a teacher. Gymnastics was my entire life. I came to America at like 5, and maybe a couple months later I saw one of my favorite cousin actually at gymnastics, made me want to do it. Following summer was 96 Olympics. I saw Dominique Dawes on TV and I was like, I want to be just like her. I happened to stumble into her gym. 7 years later, her coach becomes my coach. She gets me on the national stage. I get on the first Region 7 All-Star team, but then I hit 16 and I kept getting hurt because I'm tall. Growth issues start really taking girls out of sport around the ages of 14 and 16 because of hormones and how it affects the bones and how prone to injury that time in your life makes you. So yeah, at 16 I realized I was not going to the Olympics. Had to break down. But I also realized that there was college. So then I sustained concussion number 7 and 8 during college and had to withdraw twice. Fell into a depression because I didn't know who I was without gymnastics. And so I realized that there were so many other things that I loved to do before gymnastics took over my life. And so I started delving back into those things, drawing, writing, just creating in general. When the opportunity to model came up, I realized and remembered how much I love being in front of the camera. So an opportunity came up to do athletic modeling with an agency in North Carolina, and I took it. Got signed to my first agency down there, but they didn't really know what to do with me. So it was very slow. Started looking into agencies in New York, in Atlanta, and LA. And I got signed to an LA agency, and that's who I'm with now, Sports and Lifestyle Unlimited. And again, I based most of my identity in that I'm a coach, not a model. I'm here to build my brand. It was how I was framing it. And then I realized that the better I got at this, the bigger my platform would become with it. And then in general, the bigger my platform becomes to do whatever I want, So again, taking the blueprint from gymnastics, applying it to my life in a okay, I'm good. How can I be better? What can I use this for? In what ways is this going to benefit me in the long run? How does this grow me towards this ultimate vision that I have? Bringing mindfulness to Jamaica and then to the world through gymnastics. Prescription for Life basically is you figuring out what your neutral is in life. So in gymnastics, neutral position is the most efficient posture. And what the programming does is it allows you to figure out what your most efficient neutral position is by figuring out what love means to you and how you practice it, experience it, and receive it, so that you can, like we were saying earlier with the mindfulness, reset to that position of love anytime you feel yourself off balance, right? So just like gymnastics is about ultimately creating the most balance and making it the most dynamic for you, Prescription for Life helps you do that internally. It helps you do that mentally and spiritually, by figuring out what that feels like, looks like. Don't be afraid to use your feelings and emotions to kind of guide how you cultivate that circle. Trust your light. Trust what makes you shine and make you feel like love. Trust yourself. Continue growing into the highest version of yourself, and be patient with that process, I would say. Don't be afraid to see yourself in those that you admire. I would say that probably has been the most important thing for me, is to be able to see myself in the people I looked up to, and to be able to ask why, and to have experiences, circumstances, and opportunities that always answered those questions for me and provided opportunities to figure out how to keep growing in that sense. But ultimately, something I say all the time to my kids is, I see you. So I'll be like, I see you, boo. And I say stuff like that on purpose because I do want that for them. I want them to see themselves in me, just like I do see myself in them. And that's ultimately what makes me want to come from a place of love for them, because all of this ultimately was sparked by my sisters. No matter how low I got, because I was depressed, I was suicidal when I lost gymnastics and felt like I lost my intelligence. But at my lowest point, when my cousin asked me, you know, what would Akela and Shalini and Kalia do, you know, my sisters, I didn't know, and I didn't want to be the reason why they couldn't continue to see that light. I do come from a very religious family. I would say that I'm more spiritual than anything now. But, you know, speaking again to that love, to that light, being able to see it in this situation has always been able to lift me up. So again, being able to see yourself in the people that you want to impact is like really, really important. It allows you to ask the question, why? Why am I here? Why am I doing this? What does this do for my soul? Am I growing? You know? And then that why leads you, and it helps you stay on that path of developing that light, developing that love, and figuring out your how from there.